In the year 2025, mastering AI agents is the highest leverage skill you can develop, meaning it's the skill that will return the most profit on your time. You don't need a coding experience, you don't need a technical background. You can learn it all from your laptop with pretty much no money to get started. And that's why you're here today. And so with this video, I'm going to save you time on your trajectory of learning AI skills by showing you what not to focus on and showing you also the best tools to learn right away. And then I'll give you a short lesson on prompt engineering, on these automation tools, how to triple your progress on skill development using real world projects and clients, and showing you how to crawl out of tutorial hell and the endless distractions and news cycles and AI hype cycles that seem to be all around us. And I'm gonna show you how to cut through all of the bullshit and focus on only the things that actually matter on your path. And then I'll give you a bonus lesson at the end on how to really concentrate value for your client and be able to get in the right mindset of showing the value that you've been building. My friend went from charging $30 an hour to just about $300 just because he changed his perspective on how useful the AI systems that he's building were. And so here's what it comes down to. You're connecting AI models to workflow automation tools like Make.com and N8N. You're essentially building digital employees that handle repetitive tasks 24/7 without your involvement. And this might sound a little bit complex, but really it's not. The distance between a complete beginner and someone creating valuable AI agents is less than 2 weeks if you are dedicated and focused. Personally, I learned all the basic skills in about a month. Then I sold a $4,000 per month contract within the second month of learning these skills. And so the opportunity is really unique right now in that three core things have converged. AI models have become increasingly sophisticated enough to handle complex tasks. Automation tools have become accessible to non-developers, and the knowledge gap means that early adopters like yourself and myself are charging premium rates for relatively simple solutions. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to capitalize on this moment before the window closes and we reach mass adoption. So the first thing I want to dive into is mastering workflow automation tools. This is the place to start beyond any of the other things I'm going to talk about in this video. And here's where most people go wrong. They learn about AI, but they never implement it into automated workflows. Most people just learn ChatGPT or they become Claude power users. But the real power is not in being able to, prompt engineering is important and we'll get into that. But the real power is to actually build a system that can actually run these AI models automatically in the background without you having to manually type in and prompt it every single day. And so if I were you, I would immediately focus on mastering platforms like Make.com and N8N, because these platforms are basically super friendly to non-developers. And so let's take a look at my screen here. And you'll basically see that this is like one of the automations that I built out recently. And you can see how simple it is. You basically just go, let's just create one from scratch here so I can show you how simple this is. If I was starting out, I would start out with Make.com. Do not start out, it's basically like Zapier, if you've ever heard of Zapier, but it's way easier to use and it has more functionality. So let's say we have like a scheduled trigger here. So we just want this to go every single day. So we're just gonna say like every single day, let's check a Google Sheets document and see if there's any new rows in it. If there's new rows in it, then let's actually just run this into an OpenAI module. So I'm going to run it through an OpenAI module, message an assistant. And so you can see, like, I'm not going to set up all these modules. Like, I have dedicated videos where I go into like the specifics of all these different modules. But basically you can see like it's really simple. It literally is just like bubbles on a screen and you're just dragging and dropping them. This is why they call it no-code tools, because on the back end, if you know anything about programming, if you've ever worked with developers, you understand there's all these complex terminology, APIs, JSON, instances, web hosting, like servers, all these things. But at the end of the day, in order to connect things, you're basically setting up APIs. And you don't have to understand what an API is or how to set it up using Python or something like that. All you have to understand is that these tools basically make setting up APIs, they take all of the dev work out of it. So whenever I set this up, this is technically an API, but really all I'm doing is opening this bubble, connecting my OpenAI account, and then let me actually just do a different module here. OpenAI, rather than messaging system, we're going to create a completion prompt. So basically, we just go in here, we choose which model we want. We can use the latest model, O4 Mini. And then basically, we just go in here. Let's actually use there we go. We add a message, user prompt, and then we just say like, write me. This is a really simple example of just like how kind of this functionality works. Obviously, we would get more in depth, but write me a LinkedIn post based on the following information. And then what you would do is you would connect this Google Sheet, and then you would basically take a variable from here, and then you would take any information from the Google Sheet, you would add it into this text content here, and then it would run the model, and you would get a LinkedIn post, and then you would output it back into the Google Sheets. So we would do something like probably update a row. And like this is, obviously we can go more complex with more different tools, but this is like the core of it right here. You're connecting different applications. You're running it through literally a simple prompt like this. And I'll go into prompt engineering later in this video. And then at the end, you're updating a row in Google Sheets. It's literally that simple. And now Make.com just released AI agents, so we can actually let the AI determine which tools to run. That's a little bit more complex. But again, I would just start building out a couple systems like this. You can learn it in a couple hours. I have a bunch of videos showing you exactly how to do this. And then once you're finished with that, then you can learn slightly more complex skills like APIs. So you can learn how to set it up manually. So rather than using OpenAI's module, we can do something like this. And this may look complicated, but it's actually really simple. You can set up various APIs here, and then you can learn what JSON is. In order to understand APIs, you have to understand JSON. And so there's a lot of these like micro skills, and it might seem complex, but if you break it down into micro skills, you can see, okay, what is JSON? You could probably learn JSON in about 2 hours. And you don't like, it's not like a programming language. It's just a way to structure things. And so literally the essence of JSON, if we go into JSON here, it's like you have a open curly bracket, you have a closed curly bracket. For every object, you have quotes, colons, quotes, and you have commas. And so basically it's like, here's like an object, here's like a text that I will input in here. And then if I want to have more than one object, I add a comma, and like that's the essence of JSON. It's not that difficult. And so once I would learn this, I would just keep building these. And after about 2 weeks of like really learning how to build these out, I would start learning N8N. And so this is a little bit more difficult, and it's a little bit more technical, but again, it's the same type of thing as Make.com. And you just go in here, you'll be connecting different modules, and this is how you build out AI agents. And so actually N8N is the original kind of AI agent tool. So if I go in here, I'll show you like what an agent looks like. And then I have a bunch of videos on this, but an AI agent is basically like you connect some sort of chat. The AI determines which tools to call, and then it outputs to the chat. It's like something you can build in an hour or two. And so with just a basic understanding of Make.com, with a basic understanding of N8N, you can save, weeks of someone's year because you're automating entire workflows that they used to do manually. And so understanding APIs and data integrations and understanding how to build out agents in workflows inside of no-code tools is going to be the highest leverage skill that you can learn going into the next 2, 3, 5 years. As AI gets better and better, this is the skill that you're going to want to know, and this is what will set you apart on a job. Let's say you get a new job. Obviously, in this channel, we're talking about scaling a business, selling these types of services. But let's say you went and got a job, doing some sort of, it doesn't really matter what it is, sales, marketing, operations, customer service, like literally no matter what the role is, you can use these types of systems to basically automate a vast majority of whatever the specific things are that you're doing in that job. So this isn't just like if you want to be building AI all day. In fact, I would hope that over time you would move away from just being in the nitty gritty of building and more towards figuring out what should you build, why should you build it, and there's like a different type of mindset that you develop as you go into this stuff. But at the start, just like building these for whatever use case is most applicable to you is where you should get started. And so with that being said, the next thing to learn that you're going to want to master is prompt engineering. So prompt engineering, most people who understand this, a lot of people, the reason that your systems might struggle is because the prompt engineering is not that good. And most people can understand how to tell ChatGPT to write them an article or to create a picture or something like that. But creating really high quality prompts with clear, unambiguous instructions, and adding various different error handling examples, testing and iterating on these prompts, this is what's going to set you apart from other people building these AI systems. Because a low quality prompt and a high quality prompt is just, leagues of difference. And so I'm just going to show you the TLDR of exactly what you'll need to know in order to start learning prompt engineering here. It's not that difficult in terms of there's two ways that I would go about learning prompt engineering, that I did go about learning prompt engineering. The first is just understanding the components of a prompt. So you can sign up for a free tool like Prometheus. It's the best tool I've ever found on prompt engineering. And you can basically see what separates high quality prompt engineering from low quality prompt engineering. And so if we go into here, you can basically see that you have the prompt. The first one is like the objective. And so this is just like an example here. But basically you just want to block it out, right? So you have the objective here. So your objective is to write high quality SEO based articles. And then you'll understand that every prompt has like 3 to 4 different blocks. Then you have format guidelines. So you're going to say format it, don't include paragraph breaks. You're just going to add different formatting guidelines in here. The next thing is going to be tone and voice. And these can actually be interchangeable in terms of where they go. You could go objective, then tone of voice, then format guidelines. And then the most important one is examples. So then you're going to say, here are like a bunch of examples of what the output should look like. And this is by far the most important part of prompt engineering. But once you understand this, you can just start practicing and iterating and playing around with creating these prompts for your systems. And then especially once you go over here to Claude, one of the things that I've been doing lately is just having Claude write my prompts now. Because I understand what the blocks are, I can basically say, hey Claude, I can say, write me a high quality prompt. And I've started asking it to write it in XML because that's how all of the OpenAI and Claude documentation, that's how they want to see the prompts. Like that's how the AI reads it. And so you don't need to understand XML. Just tell it to write XML. It's just basically just a way of chunking out and blocking parts of the prompt. So write me a high quality XML prompt for creating SEO articles, include examples, instructions, tone of voice as being stoic, and taking the role of a high quality copywriter, of an expert copywriter. And so you can basically just tell Claude to write you a prompt for your systems, and you can see that once it goes in here, it's going to draft this artifact up, and it's going to write this really high quality prompt. You can see that it's like chunking it out. It's giving it instructions step by step. It's structuring it in terms of headlines, headline formulas, introductions. And so I'm just going to let this go in the background. But then let's say you're building this system inside of make.com, and we have this OpenAI module, and maybe we have some instructions from a Google Sheet that we're in. We can basically copy and paste this prompt in here. And so it's not finished here, but I'm just going to copy and paste it for video purposes. And you can see that it's like, now here's your prompt that's 20 times better than what you would have written manually. And then you can add in different variables from Google Sheets in here to basically create a high quality article, at scale. And so that's the second skill that you're going to want to learn. And then the third one is just getting into client projects and getting out of tutorial hell. And so a lot of people try to, I've seen people for 6 months just watching YouTube videos like the one you're watching right now. So the goal with this video, the reason I'm recording this is not so that you'll watch 100 other videos about AI, is so that you can get the TLDR of the most important high leverage skills to learn right now, and that you'll stop watching this video and you'll start learning make.com. You'll start learning APIs in JSON. You'll start learning prompt engineering, and then you'll start going out and trying to get clients. And so the best thing you can do is try to get a client before you think you're ready. Most people spend too much time just learning, and I was guilty of this too, but you learn 10 times faster on a real project. And if I could restart, I would go after getting clients before I'd learned almost anything. Like I'd probably spend 1 week learning AI, and then I would devote 100% of my time to sending cold email campaigns, to reaching out to people, to just figuring out where are people that I want to work with, and then sending them emails, right? Because at the end of the day, once you land a client, what's the worst thing that can possibly happen? You refund them. Is that really so bad? If you work on a project for 2 to 3 weeks, and then everything that you're learning at that point, you can still go to YouTube and learn AI, but it's like everything is filtered much more efficiently and effectively, because the way that we learn, the way that we build intelligence of our own and skills of our own is relevance realization. And so this is a concept which means knowing what is relevant, right? And so why can someone charge $10,000 an hour for consulting? It's because they have 10 to 20 years of situational awareness to understand where to look. So you're paying someone to tell you, don't waste 1 year of your time going down this rabbit hole, because they say, oh, I already did that. No, go focus on this. And that's the purpose of this video, is to say, no, don't go waste your time learning generative AI, learn how to, don't waste your time taking courses from, 3-month courses on generative AI and learning how to create images and videos and voice agents. No, just learn these tools and figure out what specific systems you want to sell. And I, in my personal experience, do not try to sell to local businesses. Do not try to sell voice agents. What you should try to do is figure out what is a simple marketing or sales-based system that I can sell to help improve someone's processes on that front. And then once you get a client like that, when you're working on it, everything you're watching on YouTube is being filtered through the discerning question of, will this help me more effectively deliver this project that I landed? Which is a way better way of learning AI. You'll learn 100 times faster than if you just watch this could be valuable. I wonder if this is valuable. Maybe a client would find. It takes all the guesswork out of it, and you're just saying, I have this client. Here are their needs, which they told me on a call. Now let me try to find the videos that will help me learn the things to solve this need effectively. And that's the best way to learn. And let's say that you don't deliver it on time, they don't love it, you refund them. Now you have all of this data from a real world client on this is what they actually need, and you can ask them what would have made this more valuable for you, and then now you have something specific to learn, and then to go find another client and do the same process. You do that enough times, you'll be adding insane amounts of value to client. So the biggest thing is just avoid tutorial hell at all costs. Who cares about what the new AI model is that's getting released and what it does and what its features are? I'm gonna let you in on a secret here. Every single one of the AI tools that you see, I mean, there's a couple that are genuinely powerful and new, like Manus AI, for example. But 98% of these tools that you're coming across, that you're getting advertised, that people are trying to get you to use, all it is on the back end is something like this. All it is an OpenAI API call with a prompt. So maybe it has like this cool interface and it's like the social media app. On the back end, all it is a prompt, and whatever query you type in, you say like, write me an article about XYZ, and it's like this sexy looking platform. On the back end, it's literally just running something like this with your query in it as a variable. So don't use all of these crazy new tools. Just learn a system like this and learn how to build it from first principles and from the ground up. And that will be more than any course, video, article. Obviously videos and courses are helpful if you know what you need to learn and why, but don't just like take any of it for any reason, for like the sole core idea of like, maybe I should like learn this whole AI thing, right? And so if you understand the basics of make.com, of N8N, you understand the basics of building workflows and agents. You can build very simple systems that add high amounts of value to your client. You're going to be leagues ahead of everyone else. And do everything you can to eliminate all of the possible distractions from this process. Like, block out all of the AI news cycle. Just try not to listen to the AI news whatsoever. It's the biggest waste of time you'll ever find. If something is truly important, and if you're learning this stuff, and if you're in networking with people who are also learning this stuff, you'll hear big things through the grapevine. The big secret is I haven't checked AI news in a year, but I built and made 70 grand in the last 8 months selling these systems, partly because I have not paid any attention to the shiny new AI tools in the news. So the biggest thing you can do is learn these skills and then join a network of people who are already learning these skills, in a community of like-minded people, right? So when you surround yourself with these people, and you have accountability, you have specific courses, you have calls where you can network with people like this, it's going to be the highest leverage thing. And not to shamelessly plug my community, but if you want to check out AI Agent University, we're hosting multiple calls per week in here. I'm sharing all of my weekly insights. You have all the templates, so you can basically just plug and play, upload these systems ready to go into your business. Or if you're already a business ready to go, I can build things out custom for you. And so I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope you learned kind of like the core skills that are most important for actually learning AI in the real world and understanding what it takes to really build these things out. And I've seen these core skills, when people learn them really well, change lives. People land new job positions, their businesses take off, they're earning twice as much money building and understanding and selling these skills than they did without it. And the beauty is that it's accessible to anyone. If you just have this forward tilt, this ability to lean into the problem and just get your hands dirty, that is the most important skill. So thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, I hope to see you in the next video. And if you have any questions, drop your questions in the comments below. And I'm going to start recording videos soon where I'll just answer all the questions in the comments. So thank you so much for watching this, and get out there and start building.